So we just arrived in Prague today, and we thought we would give you just a little bit of a sneak peek and just tell you that it's so different and interesting. We're really happy to be here. This is a pretty cool city. I was not expecting so much incredible architecture. I'm Judy.
And I'm Kevin. Welcome back to Finding Gina Marie, where we share our lives as full-time travelers and the connections we make along the way.
I've been curious about Prague ever since my favorite cookbook author moved here in 2017. She chronicled her move, and it sounded so exotic and intriguing that I knew I wanted to visit someday. Prague is the capital city of Czechia in Central Europe. If you've known the country as Czech Republic, so did we, but it's taken on the less formal name of Czechia since 2016. Prague can be an expensive city, and while we love staying in a city's old town, here it was out of our budget. Prague 3 was cheaper but too far from the action, so we compromised with Newtown. And it turned out to be no compromise at all, because Old Town was so crowded and touristy. What we didn't realize, Newtown was established in 1348. It was built by Charles IV to rival Vienna. Instead of the modern boxy structures we expected, our Art Nouveau apartment was built in 1893, right next to Henry's bell tower from the 1470s. And while we admired the gorgeous exterior of Our Lady of the Snows Church, we completely missed something remarkable. The world's only cubist street lamp was right here. We even captured it in our photos without knowing. For mobility, we'd rate Newtown a 4 out of 5. It's mostly flat with fairly wide sidewalks, and it's well connected by tram. There are occasional uneven surfaces, but it's one of the easiest areas to get around. We didn't have to go far to find a great meal. At the end of our street was a modern Czech restaurant where I had my first taste of svíkova, a traditional dish with a tasty vegetable gravy served over beef, topped with cranberries and bread dumplings. These dumplings weren't anything like what we expected. We were anticipating a chewy pasta dumpling, but these tasted more like bread stuffing. And Kevin loved the duck breast. Just a few blocks from our apartment is Wenceslas Square, which isn't really a square. It's more of a grand boulevard similar to the Champs-Élysées in Paris. It originally was a horse market in the 14th century. Unfortunately, a lot of it is under construction right now. And yes, the Wenceslas and Wenceslas Square.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen. When the snow lay round about.
Is that Wenceslas. At the end of the square is the National Museum. If you look closely, you can see subtle white squares on its exterior face. Those were repaired damage from Soviet gunfire in 1968 when troops mistook the museum for Prague's Parliament building.
It's a shame there's so much construction in front of the museum because it really is spectacular looking. We have plans to come back in the future so we can see this without all the construction in front of it.
We booked a tour with a local historian to deep dive into the history of the city. We'll link it below.
So what did you think of our tour today?
Oh, it was really great. Super tour guide, very interesting, lots of good places to visit, but also such a great group of other fellow visitors that we got to spend time with.
Yeah, it always makes a big difference when you have people who are interested in the tour and interested in what everybody else is doing. It's kind of a nice side effect of the tours. You get to meet and greet with some of the people in town.
Yeah, and especially this one, it was something unique, view of Prague from a historian, which made it a little bit more special. And it was a limited number of attendees. So it wasn't like a lot of these tours are super crowded.
Yeah.
I really liked it, and I felt like I learned a lot. Overall, very much recommended. I do think that there is so much of Prague you'll really enjoy seeing. So
Great city, great city.
Scattered around the city are various artworks by David Czerny. He's known for some of Prague's most controversial and thought-provoking art, such as this upside-down horse that's a parody of the famous statue of Saint Wenceslas. It represents a satirical take on Czech politics and national pride. Stick around to each quarter hour and you can see Metamorphosis, a giant kinetic sculpture made of reflective panels that rotate to form and dissolve the face of Czech author Franz Kafka. There's even a likeness of Sigmund Freud, who's known for his fear of heights, dangling by one hand from a rooftop beam. And while these aren't Czerny's works, we loved capturing these butterfly installations representing the freedom and flight built to honor the Czech Air Force pilots who fought during World War II.
So we just used the metro to get to another spot in town, which was so easy and so convenient. I think it's going to be a really nice time getting around this town.
I am really noticing how perfectly clean it is here. I'm quite impressed with that. Like spotless. When you get tickets to the Strahov Library, pay a little extra so you can also visit the impressive art gallery and treasury room. If you have mobility issues, this may not be a great option for you though. There are stairs everywhere and no elevators in this historic abbey. We give it a 2 out of 5 on our mobility scale. The monastery is known for its 2 grand historic halls, the Theological Hall and the Philosophical Hall. They're each filled with old globes, books, and frescoes.
The amount of detail on these globes, or the age of them. Some of them in the 1600s, 1700s. It's mind-blowing just how much is on them. But China, Japan, detail, blows my mind.
We liked that you don't need to book a tour to explore it, unlike the Clementinum Library. It also has better lighting and fewer crowds. My only regret here is that you can't wander and touch the books or browse their titles. We could spend hours in a good library. So this is, in my opinion, worth coming to the Abbey for, if for nothing else. The views coming down the street here are stunning.
Once again, being up on a hill has its advantages.
This really is such a charming downhill walk into the city.
Yeah, just don't come up this way.
I don't know. It's at least a soft incline.
Okay, we'll go with that.
More Trump loyal, where they're
All
trying
right.
to...
Some fake windows there.
Yep. Beat the window tax. Just a short walk from Strahov Monastery is the Loreto Sanctuary. It's a Marian pilgrimage site.
Melodic sounds of someone arguing on the phone.
And every hour the bells ring a tune from the historic 27-bell carillon.
Worth it?
It was nice to see. It was... I was a little disappointed that the chimes did actually move.
Yeah.
They just didn't move a lot. And it was still beautiful.
Yeah, they're not swinging bells. They're just wrappers on the bells. But yeah, oh, that's good. It was an hour and a half in the making.
It was. Maybe I wouldn't do that.
No. Spontaneous is better for this kind of stuff.
Yes. Time it better.
Yeah, right.
The grounds aren't very big, but we loved the frescoes on the ceilings. This ornate building encases the Santa Casa, a small chapel designed as a replica of the Virgin Mary's house in Nazareth.
This garden is advertised as peaceful and restive, which I'm sure it could be, but with all the tours going through and the very vocal tour guides, it loses a little bit.
For a fee, you can go through the Loreto Treasury and see what's called Prague Sun, a diamond-encrusted monstrance that holds a consecrated communion host. It's adorned with 6,222 hand-cut diamonds and made of 22 kilograms of gilded silver. This garden is beautiful and very peaceful, and I don't know, there's so much history here, so I definitely think it's worth seeing. One of our favorite things to do anywhere we are is to meet up with viewers.
Hey, how are you, Lonnie?
I feel like I know you already.
Oh, it's so great to see you. We weren't prepared for how much foot traffic there was going to be. Oh my gosh.
Our friend Lonnie suggested the Wall Pub, a charming Beatles-themed spot. Somehow we ended up eating across the street instead, but it was a happy detour because right there is the watermill and its water sprite, or vodnik, from Czech folklore. These creatures are usually mischievous, but this one, named Kuburek, is said to be one of the more benevolent vodnik in Prague. We had some hail rain down on us while we were here, but I don't think we can blame Kuburek for it. Afterwards, we were able to make our way to the Lennon Wall. Since the 1980s, it's been covered with layers of graffiti, song lyrics, political messages, and portraits that are mostly inspired by John Lennon and the ideals of peace and freedom he represented. During the communist era, the lyrics and anti-regime slogans were a subtle protest against oppression. Kevin and I met in 1979, and the Beatles were one of the first things we had in common, so this was a very cool thing for us to see. We took a tram to our small group tour of Prague Castle. Do yourself a favor and avoid the tours with 20+ people. They're not worth it, and this one gives you access to all the interiors of the complex. Even if you've heard of Prague Castle, it's not what you might expect. It's not one grand hall where royalty lived. It's a massive fortified complex, more like a walled village. Here are just a few small highlights from our tour. St. Vitus Cathedral feels as much like a museum as a church. It's where Czech kings were crowned and buried. Take note of the elaborate tomb of St. John of Nepomuk made from nearly 2 tons of silver. We'll be talking about him a bit more later.
Down there is the sponsor. It's written. In Czech is první, you see it written, Česká zájevná pojišťovna, which means first health national insurance company. How crazy is that?
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. The first health mutual insurance company donated money to the artist to create this.
We're here in Vladislav Hall inside the old royal palace. This space was used for jousting tournaments in the past, and Louis Vuitton held a fashion show here in 2019. 2 nobles and their secretary were tossed out of this window in the 1600s, but survived because they all landed on a pile of horse manure. You cannot make this stuff up. Right across from the castle gates is Schwarzenberg Palace. It caught my eye because it looks almost Moroccan, but it's actually a Renaissance design trick where layers of plaster are scratched away to create these geometric patterns.
This building was just so cool to come across. It was quite a pleasant thing to just happen upon. I think that's the nice thing. Sometimes you don't even need a tour. You just walk around and you find all of these incredible discoveries.
Marionettes. No, not doing it. Kind of creepy.
Gingerbread has been famous in Prague since the Middle Ages, and I had been dying to taste some here. We stopped at the Gingerbread Museum.
Look at all the gingerbread. Look at all the gingerbread.
But honestly, the gingerbread at the Gingerbread Man's dream had more of the flavors you'd expect to taste.
Thank you.
I'm really hot and sweaty, and I'm more in the mood for something savory, but I have really been wanting to get gingerbread while we're here in Prague. So I got a little gingerbread man.
Cute.
Just a plain heart. And then teensy weensy little flower.
Very cute. I saw her with the bag in there decorating them. So these are hand decorated.
It's not as strong of a gingerbread as I'm used to having, but it's still really good.
Even if you know nothing about Prague, you've probably heard of the famous Charles Bridge, which has some of the best views of Prague's skyline, the castle, and lesser town, and also is lined with over 30 statues. Remember the silver tomb of St. John Nepomuk in St. Vitus that we talked about earlier? He was the Queen's confessor. His statue is the one with 5 stars over his head.
I find it interesting that they have these wooden barriers right in front of the bridge posts, kind of protect them a little bit more from any accidents happening.
Even though typically being in Old Town or the historic city center is my favorite part of a city, here in Prague, that's not the case. I feel like this bridge, Charles Bridge, gets so crowded periodic through the day, and it takes forever to get across. So if you're sightseeing, personally, being in Newtown has been much better for us.
Confirmation, lesser town.
Tower. Judith's Tower.
What?
The Romanesque style lower one. I can believe that.
Well, you are the lower one. It's cool. It's right on target. Right on brand. Let's say.
Yes, it knew.
It knew.
Although it says the taller lesser town tower was built as a proper bridge tower.
Well,
what are they saying about Judith Tower?
Well, isn't that Judith Tower?
No, Judith's Tower is a Romanesque style lower one.
Oh.
But it's older than the bridge at 12th century.
So you're older and more Romanesque. We'll take it.
We'll take it. Hey, it's my name. I beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
If you're near Charles Bridge and you're looking for classic Czech comfort food, check out Pork's location in Mostecca.
Insane. I've been avoiding the pork knuckle because it looks so big in every restaurant. I decided to get the pulled pork. I thought it would be smaller. It is not. This is huge.
Homemade cheese and bread and cabbage.
We put sauerkraut in the put soup. Cabbage.
Okay, so it didn't have any already.
Yes.
So that cabbage wasn't for the bread and cheese. That's okay. It was good anyway.
The astronomical clock looks a bit like steampunk to me. It's been running since 1410, the oldest astronomical clock in the world that's still working. Yes, it can get crowded, but it's a cool-looking piece of engineering and aesthetics. We highly recommend our Jewish Quarter tour with Jewish Prague Tours, which was led by a Jewish historian. We didn't give ourselves enough time to plan, but we had no idea that the Terezín concentration camp is only an hour drive from Prague. Tours there are led by the highly respected Pavel Batel, so you will want to build time in to do that if you can. We started with the Old New Synagogue, the oldest active synagogue in Europe, built in 1270. Its fortress-like Gothic architecture was shaped by the medieval laws that prevented Jewish synagogues from being too showy. The Pincus Synagogue hit us the hardest. The walls here are covered with nearly 80,000 known names of Holocaust victims from this region alone, and names are continuing to be added. Upstairs, there's a powerful exhibit of drawings from children from Terezín, a concentration camp the Nazis used as a propaganda tool. Our next stop was the Old Jewish Cemetery, which holds about 12,000 headstones. Because space was so limited, some areas contain up to 12 layers of graves stacked vertically. They keep moving the tombstones above the ground, but many of them continue to sink. Many of the oldest tombstones barely show, and they might not be near where the person was buried. The Spanish synagogue is named after its Moorish architectural style. This was the perfect spot to end our tour, since it was built in the 1860s during a brief period when Jews gained equal rights here and reflects a short-lived era of hope.
You can get chimney cakes all over Prague, but our tour guide from our Jewish tour introduced us to this place, which we heard was really good, and the families were very nice, so we figured we'd support the local community and get some sweets at the same time.
I got the stuff.
All right.
Our guide had said that this place was supposed to be one of the best places in all of the city, and it's kosher, so we'll try it. But she also said to get plain. That's what the locals do.
Yeah.
It's very hot.
It's almost like they just baked it.
It's beautiful.
We walked by and the sugar smells. We're like, yeah, we should have one of those. Given that it's got the blessing of a Jewish tour guide, we'll do it. Sugary delicious.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's bread.
Yeah.
With cinnamon and sugar. How bad could it possibly be?
Yeah. I mean, we've had these before and they're delicious.
Yeah, quite delicious. I mean, it's a little bit different than what we had in Romania, but still good.
All right, my turn.
Tell us if you've visited Prague. Did it surprise you too? And if you've never been here, we'd love to know what part of the city intrigues you the most.
There's a concert today.
1900, so about 45 minutes from now.
It's an effective way to advertise, if you ask me.
Caught our attention.
So, Kevin, what did you think about our time here in Prague?
I thought it was fantastic. I wish it was actually longer, but we ran out of Schengen days. The place is stunning to look at, and I think we picked a really great spot in Prague 1.
Yes, I'm glad it wasn't a cheap accommodations for us, but being more centrally located was absolutely worth it. Would you come back?
I would kind of like to. I mean, there's so much to see in the world, so it's hard. But it's a really cool city, and there's a lot to see here.
I really enjoyed our Jewish Quarter tour, and they had talked about the fact that there is a terrorism concentration camp about an hour away, and I'm really bummed that I didn't know about that sooner, because I would like to come back and see that. So I would come back just for that alone, but honestly, I loved all of the architecture here and the history and the food. Quite good.
Yeah, delicious food. Yes. Gained weight in Prague.
Yes, but it absolutely lived up to the hype.
So what did it cost us for 21 days in Prague? Travel cost us $390 or $195 per person to get here from Sardinia. That episode is next week, so you don't want to miss it. Accommodations in Newtown were $2,291 or $109 per day. Getting around the city cost $31. Dining and groceries were a total of $1,539 or $37 per person per day. Tours cost us a total of $510. That's a total of $4,761. Minus the cost of transportation to get to and from Prague, we spent $4,371, which breaks down to $208 per day and $104 per person per day.
We had an awesome time in Prague, and our next stop is going to be Tbilisi, Georgia. So subscribe if you haven't already.
Remember to wander more,
worry less,
and bring a passport.
Until next time.
Until next time.